What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the house. I'm joined by the captain himself, Douglas Haddad, and he's just taken a nice payday, second place at a $1,000 tournament with one of my favorite decks, Plunder Patroll. But before we get into the deck profile here, I have just a couple questions to ask you since you're one of more of the premier players with this deck. First off, is there any support you're more excited for, maybe in other sets or outside, than Ravenwing the Plunder Patroll coming up for the deck?
Until we get that Earth or Wind ship revealed, Ravenwing is the best addition the deck could have asked for. It's a wolf bark that's able to retrieve resources from the graveyard and provide a body on field, was just fantastic for the deck.
Yeah, I love how, first off, Wolfbark's replaced the Breeze Dragon back in the day, but Wolfbark was a very intimidating card. And second off, my stream's already dubbed the Earth one to be Landlubber in the future, so I do hope that happens. And second off, how did the ban list really shape things for this deck? Obviously, Calamities is a huge cloud gun, but did anything else kind of free the way for the deck to get better in this metagame?
Believe it or not, Union Carrier and Ben 10 going to 1 were the more significant hits for the ban list, which really helped the deck strive. Being able to get rid of the resource recursion for the deck for Ben 10 and multiple other monsters such as Gamma or Alpha getting in the grave is a huge resource gone and a very, how would I say, happy ending for Plunder Patrol in this current format.
Alright, for the viewers at home, we're gonna go over a card at a time, but we'll say the quantities for you guys. So, like, starting off, we're gonna have, say, a 3 of to begin here, and I'll let Douglas take it away.
Okay. Starting off with the Plunder Patrol crew, we have Bluebeard, the Plunder Patrol shipwright, at 3. He's a very simple card. If you control another Plunder Patrol monster on the field, you can reveal him and special summon him. And if you send him from hand or monster zone to grave, you can discard any card in your hand which might be useless for the situation you're in and draw a card. Next card we have another 3 of, which is Golden Hair, the newest Plunder Patrol monster. Her effect is very unique. She's a 1-card Blackbeard, being able to be normal summoned, linked away into All Mirage, then pitching a card to revive her to make a Blackbeard. Fantastic addition to the deck from the second wave of support. She's also very unique in terms of hand replacement and resource management, in terms of she can special summon herself by pitching any Plunder Patrol monster from field or hand as a cost. Next, we have the 3 of Sci-Frame Gear Gamma, or as we like to call him, the 6th Plunder Patrol, being able to stop a lot of hand traps that might be in the way of searching, such as Ash Blossom, or even cards like, per se, Ghost Spell from our trap card Booty. Sci-Frame Gamma has been able to provide a lot of, per se, hand stoppage. Very good card, especially for the fact that you're able to link it away with to make a Blackbeard, or synchro summon to make Bran, our synchro ship. From there, we have 2 copies of Radion, the multi-dimensional kaiju. So I chose this kaiju over the rest simply for its dark attribute. The deck's entire purpose is to play with what your opponent gives you. Giving your opponent a dark attribute monster, you're able to go into your XYZ, Moiric, which is able to, at that point, banish the Radion that you gave your opponent and get more searches out from your deck, getting you your field spell, your fusion spell, or even your trap card. Also, it's able to get rid of Buster Lock and any annoying problems that might present themselves as a problem itself.
Dragoon! Sorry.
Oh, no, not at all. That's entirely plausible. Next, we have 3 copies of Redbeard, the Plunder Patrol Matey, and 3 copies of Whitebeard, the Plunder Patrol Helm. So I'm going to put the description of these 2 together very simply. Whitebeard and Redbeard have the effect to tag out during your opponent's turn to summon a Plunder Patrol with an attribute that is relevant to their field or graveyard. The difference between them is that when Redbeard hits the graveyard from hand or field, he's able to hop on a ship or equip to a Plunder Patrol monster, providing more resources and advantages. While Redbeard, when he goes to the graveyard, Whitebeard, when he goes to the graveyard, he's able to special summon a Plunder Patrol directly from the deck, which can provide a lot of great resources and just keep building a board. From there, we have the 1 Sci-Frame Driver, simply for Sci-Frame Package. We have 1 Called by the Grave, just to stop hand traps that might be in our way. 2 Cosmic Cyclones. I decided to put these in because of Dinosaur running Mystic Mine. That card can be very degenerate for a game state, and we want to clear as much up as we can. as well as other cards such as Eldritch Trap cards. From there, we also have 2 Dark Ruler No More, simply to stop Dragon boards and Drytron boards that can set up and present a huge problem. Simplifying the game state and breaking the board is very easy to do, so Dark Ruler just adds into that. From there, we have 2 Emblem of the Plunder Patrol. So this equip spell is very unique in what it does. Simply put, if it's equipped to one of your Plunder Patrol monsters, it gains 500 and becomes untargetable. But its second effect allows you to send a grave and special summon a Plunder Patrol from your extra deck with an attribute on either side of the field or either graveyard. That's stating, basically, if you have Radion or Gamma in your graveyard or even Driver, you're able to take advantage of those resources and summon your more important ships out on the field. From there, we have 2 Forbidden Droplet, again, being able to stop Dragoons and various other monsters that might present a problem for the board state. Also, it plays very well with certain combos of the deck, such as Redbeard or Whitebeard, and tagging out, and then chaining Droplet. From there, we also have 2 of the Fusion spell, Plunder Patrol Ship Shape Ship Shipping. So the Fusion spell has, besides being a Fusion spell, has one more important effect. While it's in the graveyard, you can banish it to equip a Plunder Patrol monster or the equip spell Emblem of the Plunder Patrol directly to your field. The idea behind this is not only to just get the equip spell to make another ship, but it's actually in order to make sure if you have your field spell engraved, which we'll get to soon, you're able to bounce it back and add another resource to your hand that can't be ashed. From there, we also have 3 of probably one of the craziest cards I've ever read, Plunder Patrol Shipyard. So the 3 effects of this card are as stated. 1, for every Plunder Patrol card on your spell and trap zone, your Plunder Patrol monsters gain 500. Being able to get 5 cards out on the field is very hard to do, but if you do, it's a very hefty 2,500 attack point boost. Its second effect, the more well-known effect, you can discard a card and add any Plunder Patrol card from your deck to your hand, except itself, so it's able to get you your starters, your playmakers, and really set up your board presence. Its grave effect allows you to, if it's engraved, you're allowed to bounce it back onto your field by, my apologies. So if you have a Plunder Patrol card in your spell and trap zone, you're able to put it back to your hand and reset your field spell from the graveyard. This enables you to have various combos or return resources to hand that you can use later on in the duel. From there, we have 3 Pot of Desires. Simply put, banish 10 because you run 3 of every single Plunder Patrol monster in the deck to draw 2. Very common card, very good for what it does. 1 Terraforming to get your field spell. 1 Triple Tactics Talents. I originally was planning on playing 2, but I decided against it because I hate to see multiples in my hand or drawing it to another one while you activate the first one. And I decided to replace that with the Called by the Grave, which played very well for this tournament. From there, we also have 3 Evenly Matched. Plunder Patrol likes a simple board state. If you're able to provide that and get rid of problems that your opponent has, then you can just go on from there, get rid of the one thing they have left, and play the game. So
I really like Evenly Matched because it comes up in my streams like somebody was complaining about, he's playing Evenly Matched, who would play that in this meta game? And I'm like, well, did you lose to it? And he's getting so angry about it. And then I see this in a deck performing well, it just makes me even happier. You know, Konami yoinking that out of a structure deck doesn't make me happy, but seeing a card come back into relevancy and people getting mad about these non-searchable power cards, that's exactly what Talents is, though, and other cards. Like, they're non-searchable power cards. Dark Ruler no more. So I actually love to see this one here specifically.
Opening up Dark Ruler and Evenly Matched makes most Dragon players just scoop the game right there. That is all I can say. From there, we also have 3 Plunder Patrol Booty. So this trap card is very funny. What it does is that you're able to declare an attribute, then target a face-up monster your opponent controls. You basically are able to change that monster into that attribute and either revive or shuffle back a Plunder Patrol monster from your graveyard. The amount of recursion this card plays out to have is insane for the amount of cards that you pitch and search, and basically it provides you the attributes you need. Very good card. It's called the Haunted on Drugs. Really good card. Okay. From there, we're going to go to the side deck. We have 3 Artifact Lancia just to prevent certain combo decks to go off, mostly Dinosaur and Dragon. We also have 3 Droll and Lockbird. That's more for Alistair-driven decks. Simply put, if they go if they're able to activate Magical Meltdown, At that point, you draw and lock, prevent them from getting their invocation, and stopping your opponent from playing is a very good thing to have. From there, we also have 3 Nibiru, again, stopping dragons or various other combo decks to set up. We also have the 1 more Cosmic Cyclone. Again, we want to max out in case we go against back row decks, or even Mystic Mind Burn, which I'm not a big fan of. We also have 1 more Dark Ruler No More, again, just to provide power stoppage against certain decks that build boards. We also have the Harpy's Feather Duster at 1, and as well as we have 2 Lightning Storm in the side deck. Again, getting rid of back rows, simplifying the game state is very good for Plunder Patrol. And then we have the 1 Red Reboot. Providing that you're able to drop this card in your opponent, it can really make or break boards or stop your opponent from gaining more advantage. From there, we're going to go into the extra decks, starting with Almirage. So most of the time, you're going to be making this by normal summoning Golden Hair, linking away to make Almirage, and then from there, it's able to go into the best card of the deck, the 3 of Blackbeard, the Plunder Patrol Captain. So Blackbeard is able to act like Redbeard and Whitebeard. The only difference between him is that he's a quick effect that can be activated during either player's turn. He can target any monster on your field, providing that you're able to basically help your monsters get away from certain situations. And then he nets you a card to boot. This card is insane, and I will always love this card for what it does. If you play less than 3, you're a bad player. That's it. From there, we have we have 1 Totally Awesome. We also have the Bahamut Shark, just Bahamut Shark Toad package. These are all level 4 waters that you're able to overlay, make a Toad, and then your end board can usually end on Blackbeard plus Toad in a back row. Very simple card, but devastating for what it can do. From there, we also have 2 Plunder Patrol ship Moiric. So Moiric is the Dryden, per se, for monsters. His effect is you can discard a Plunder Patrol card from your hand and then target an effect monster that your opponent controls, banish it, and then add any Plunder Patrol spell or trap from your deck to your hand. Now, normally this sounds really good on paper. The thing that makes him crazy is the fact that if he has a Plunder Patrol card equipped to him, you're able to do this as a quick effect. The ability of getting rid of your opponent's monsters, getting a free net search at any point in the game is incredibly wonderful. It also has 1 more additional effect. If it's made naturally instead of tagged out via XC summon, he also acts as a ding for the entire archetype. So if your opponent goes Lightning Storm, Harpy's Feather Duster, even Raigeki, you're able to protect your entire board. Very good card at 2. From there, we have 1 Evil Swarm Exciton Knight. So this card came up a lot more in testing than in play, but it did do a lot of work for certain back row decks that you had to deal with. Most of the time, people will see me normal summon Golden Hair and Special Blue and go, oh, let him make the captain, and then just get rid of it. Then when you go into Exciton, they freak out, board goes away, and you simplify your game state. Very good card for what it does, very simple. From there, we have 1 Bahamut Shark, again, just to go into the Toad. We also have 1 White Aura Whale. So White Aura Whale, very unique synchro. I'm able to make it in my deck, and every time I summon this card, I usually win the match. So this card's effect is when he's synchro summoned, you can destroy all of your opponent's attack position monsters. Also, he has the additional effect of he can attack twice on all of your opponent's monsters during the battle phase. And if he attacks a defense position monster, he does piercing. The great thing about this card is that also, when your opponent's waiting for the Blackbeard, they're usually going to wait to Appaloosa it or stop it with a monster effect. So going normal summon white, special blue, synchro summoning into whale, you're also able to chain block. Going whale 1, white 2, blue 3, and just board wiping, getting advantage, and preventing your opponent from creating more damage outbreak. It's a really good card. Highly recommended. From there, we also have 2 Plunder Patrol Bran. So Bran is the Cosmic Cyclone of the deck. He shares the same effect in terms of if he has an equip on him, you're able to do it as a quick effect. He's a Cosmic Cyclone, pitch a card, and then add a monster. He also boosts the other fiends on your field by 500. Very simple card, very straightforward. Great 2 of. From there, we also have 1 Emancipator Risen Dragite. This card was, at first I was offered this card like, hey, maybe it would be a good idea to run. Afterwards, with more testing, it's a mandatory main deck. Being able to make this card against your opponent with back row, for them waiting with 1 back row or even 2, and having additional ability of milling, so let's say a Nibiru for the side deck, is a glorious, glorious card. Especially because all Plunder Patrol monsters are water. And the final ship in the deck, Plunder Patrol ship Liss. So this is the light attribute target. He is a monster effect negation, and he also has an additional effect as a quick effect during the main phase on either player's turn. He allows your Plunder Patrols to jump ship, as per se, by special summoning from the spell and trap zone or your hand. It comes up a lot more times than people expect, simply because when you make lists, your opponent will try to get rid of it with a monster effect negation, and if you can tell that's a bait, you can hop off, summon another one, such as red, white, or blue, tag into another list, and then continue with your plays. Also, if he negates a Plunder Patrol ship card, if he negates a monster effect and destroys while he's equipped, he allows you to add any Plunder Patrol card from your deck to your hand. So, wonderful addition to the deck, and honestly, I couldn't do anything without him, so...
I just want to add real quick before we go into like matchups by round. With Bran, it's so easy to end up at like 4,000 with the field spell, and I don't think that can be understated within like almost any meta game. Being able to just go in the extra deck, get a 4K monster with the greatest of ease, unlike going up into access code talk or having to link 4. Like, this is just right there for you a lot of the time.
That is correct.
So, what did you end up facing in the tournament, and how did you deal with it? And let's start, I guess, with the regular rounds.
All right, round 1, I played against the pile deck, as I like to call. It was 60 cards with Guru, Dogmatica, and Invoked, Generator, Dragoon. It was a bit of a messy deck. I was able to 2-0, simply put. Opponent didn't have enough resources to stop me, and went right from there. Round 2 was Dinosaur. Another 2-0. My opponent didn't know what my cards did. Plus, having the ability of summoning during the battle phase and stopping your opponent at that crucial moment is incredibly important because you're able to avoid miscellaneous source. Round 3, we had Salamangreat. Very easy matchup. The deck is very, linear for its plays. So if you're able to break the board easily and then summon ships, it's an easy 2-0. Round 4 was Subterror Guru with Dragoons. That was my hardest matchup of the day. Simply put, the deck doesn't give enough resources of attributes to go into with Blackbeard or various other cards, so it was the hardest matchup of the day. I did lose to that, but I was able to, at that point, rebound and win out, getting first place after sweeps. Round 5, I believe it was... round 5, my apologies. Round 5, I played against Shadal Invoked. My opponent wanted to find out how my deck played out, and so he wanted to go through with it, played the game, lost out. Basically, the idea of Shadal Invoked is that we're able to get around Winda. Emblem is able to summon a Blackbeard, and with the field spell, that's a 2600 beat stick, so right then and there, easy matchup. Round 6, I believe, was... Actually, I forgot my round 6 opponent. My apologies. But from there, top 8 proceeded with playing against Salamangreat again, easy 2-0. Then went to Dinosaur. That matchup was a bit harder because my opponent was at that point was able to understand what I was able to do. But he wasn't able to stop the board setup long enough or prevent me from playing. And then in the finals, I played against Zoo Eldritch Dogmatica. Unfortunately, I lost that matchup simply for playing 2 Pot of Desires in one game. Not the best call, but resources running down and not having enough cards was just it was necessary. But it happens. But from there on, I got to say I was happy with my tournament experience, and I can't wait to do this again.
All right, I really appreciate it. For those at home, the reason why we have this set up is one card at a time. I know you might want deck list, but the YouTube algorithm really kills these videos when there's just a deck list on screen and people click on, look at it, click off, and don't listen to the pilot, and I want you guys to enjoy and be able to listen to what they're saying. So this is more my attempt at not having a remote duel setup, but then being able to also get all the words of a pilot behind the deck, or a captain in this case. And any shout-outs here at the end?
Just 3 shout-outs. 1 to Team Playmakers, possibly the best Yu-Gi-Oh! Team you'll find in our current game. Second shout-out has to be to the local that I went to, Gaming Universe. They ran the event, and they're planning on running a 5K and even a 25K in the Meadowlands in the summer. So keep an eye out for that. And the final shout out definitely has to go to my girlfriend Michelle. She's my everything, and she really drives me forward with this deck. So thank you.
Well, thank you so much for joining us and explaining your deck in depth. Any final notes here before we head out?
Go House of Champs, and I can't wait to get Ravenwing to bring this deck back on the channel.
I appreciate it. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.